Well, hi everybody. Welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to talk about reporting speech in English. I'm going to focus on verbs for this lesson. I'm going to talk about the differences and the different ways to use say, tell, talk, speak, and ask in this lesson. So during today's live lesson, please feel free to send your example sentences in the chat. I will try to check them live on either Facebook or YouTube, but there are a lot, so please send along a few as you think of them. We have a couple of announcements as usual. There's free stuff for everybody watching. We always have free things for you in the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook. There are free vocabulary PDFs. These are a bunch of different topics, so you can pick up one or all of these and study a few vocabulary points. This is the shopping one. We have many topics, so check out the link below the video or above the video to download those for free. The other thing, I've been talking a lot about it this month, but please make sure if you have a question that you have not shared yet, please send it along to our Q&A, our question and answer series. This is called Ask Alicia. So if you don't know about this, viewers out there, you can send me a question at our official question page, and I will choose some questions and try my best, but hopefully to answer your questions. These can be small grammar questions or word history questions or like questions about the difference between a few words. So if you have some questions, please send those to englishclass101.com/ask-Alicia so I can check them out. All right, announcements are done, and I see many people in the chat. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. I see on YouTube, Rendell, Gertrudis, Ronald, Norelli, Habib, Oscar, Rahul. Hello, everybody. And on Facebook, I see Clara and MD. Hello, Abdullah, Ricardo, Fio, maybe? Hello. Instagram, sorry, I can't see your comments live, but hello to everybody there. Okay, so as I said, today we're going to talk about reporting speech. So as always, if you have not already, please make sure to like and share the video so other learners can find today's lesson. I'm going to share the video and then I'm going to begin. So we are going to start today's lesson with a background point. By that, I mean we're going to start the lesson by talking about something that's important for all of these verbs, not just for one verb. So that is this point right here. Before we talk about today's verbs and the example sentences, I want to talk about this point. First, when you want to report something, like your friend told you something or your boss, like someone's words, when you want to report that, first, choose your tense. Choose your tense. So that means if you want to talk about a past conversation, so it happened yesterday or last week, if you want to talk about a past conversation, this verb, like say or tell or whatever, should be in past tense, past tense. If you want to talk about something that's true now, something that is true now, use present tense. Use present tense. We'll cover some examples of these. If you want to talk about something regularly said, so something regularly said means something that someone often says. So they didn't say it just one time. They say it every day or they say it every month. In that case, use present tense. Present tense. And are you making a guess about the future? Are you talking about a future conversation, imagining a future conversation? In that case, use a future tense expression like will or going to. So please keep in mind these points, how to choose your tense for your verb here. So please think about this as we go through today's lesson. Okie dokie. So with that in mind, let's take a look at our first verb. Our first verb for today's lesson is the verb say. Say. So say, past tense is said. Said. So I'll write it here. Past tense is said. S-A-I-D. We use say for a neutral report of speech. So it's not positive, it's not negative, it's just a basic report of speech. For example, my neighbor said our music was too loud. My neighbor said our music was too loud. So we know from this past tense use of said that this is a past conversation. Our neighbor said our music was too loud. So this could be yesterday, for example. Our music was too loud yesterday or last night. Another example. My friend says crazy things on Twitter. My friend says crazy things on Twitter. In this sentence, maybe hard to see, in this sentence, I'm using says, S-A-Y-S. This is a present tense use of the verb. My friend says crazy things on Twitter. Again, I'm using this present tense because this is a regular occurrence. This is something that happens often. So not my friend said something crazy on Twitter. My friend said something crazy means that was one time. This sentence in present tense means my friend often says crazy things on Twitter. That's the difference between said and says in a situation like this. Okay, and please feel free to send your example sentences in too. Let's take a look then at a future tense example. For example, if I quit my job, oh, my marker died. Oh, there you go. Okay, my parents will probably say. My parents will probably say. So here, this is a future tense, part of a future tense expression. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. So in this sentence, I'm making a guess. If I quit my job, I'm using an if conditional here, yeah? If I quit my job, my parents, here's my future, will probably. So I'm making a guess about the future, will probably say. So there's no change to the verb here, but I am making a future expression. I'm talking about the future here. My parents will probably say I'm crazy. Okay, so I'll look for some examples now on YouTube. David says, my friend says Alicia is an amazing teacher. Woohoo, your friend is cool. Thanks, okay. Anna says, my teacher said yesterday, Anna, you are amazing. Great, that's awesome, very nice. Okay, good one. Amir on YouTube says, my teacher Alicia said the YouTube users are noisy. Nice sentence. You guys are great. You're not noisy. Okay. Nekotaro4 says, my friend says he wants to go to Italy. Perfect. So my friend says he wants to go to Italy means that's something regular. That's something your friend regularly often said. On Facebook, Masaya, hey Masaya says, someone says it is not true. Okay, that could be good. Juma says, I said that I was going home. Perfect, nice one. Far Away says, my mom said I should be hitting the sack now. Nice one. That was really natural. Great. Nice expressions, everybody. So this is how we use said for past conversations, for regular things, and to make future expressions, to make a guess about the future. Okay, and if you have any questions, please send those along too, but maybe today is a good chance to practice a lot of sentences. All right, excellent. With that then, before we go to part 2, I will take a short break and introduce a couple PDFs I showed you last week. some of these for sure, but we can use this camera today, yes? Cool, here I go. Okay, so I want to share a couple of the PDFs I thought would be useful. First one is this business English one. This topic, today's topic, is super important for business meetings. So please check out this list of vocabulary and phrases you can use for business meetings. And if you have an emergency, this one is new. This is a new one. Emergency words. This is a new PDF. This one has vocabulary for emergencies, but I thought on the back, when speaking to like police or speaking to someone in an emergency, these are expressions you can use for that conversation. And so when you need to talk about, when you need to explain something someone else said, this is what you need to do. These are I thought this would go well. So these are a couple examples. I will show you some more later, but you can download these from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you are watching on Facebook. Okay, so let's continue on to part 2. Yes, you can find this. Check the link in the description on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Check the link above like the chat box if you're watching it big on Facebook. Alrighty, let's move on. We'll continue on. The next part, I'm going to talk about using tell and talk. Tell and talk. Also, a quick reminder, if you have not already, please make sure to like and share the video so others can find today's lesson. Okay, let's continue to using tell, the verb tell. So, tell, I have a beautiful artist's rendering. I have a beautiful graphic here. Tell, we use tell for one-way conversations. So not 100% one way. One-way conversation means like one person does lots and lots of talking. So yes, there are two people in this situation, yes. But when we use tell, it's like one person shares a lot of information, and the other person listens to that information. So tell is used to describe this sort of conversational relationship. So, some examples. My teacher told me I failed the test. My teacher told me I failed the test. So tell in past tense is told. Told. My teacher told me I failed the test. Another example, tell me about your vacation. Tell me about your vacation. So you'll notice when we use the verb tell, we follow it with something like me. Here, in these examples, I've used me. So this shows the person receiving the information. We can change this me to someone else. Like, my teacher told my mom I failed the test. Or, my teacher told my roommate I failed the test. My teacher told him I failed the test. So we can change this word after the verb to change the person receiving the information. So this is how we show the relationship, the person speaking and the person receiving the information in these very one-way conversations. Okay, some good examples are coming in. Paulino says, tell me about your family. Great, great. Okay, let's take a look at, a future tense example. So, this one, oops, my pen died. So if we want to use this with a future expression, we could use something like going to. So when I talked about using say, we used will probably for the future, but you can also use going to. Thank you. Okay, we can also use going to here. I'm going to, that's so nice. I'm going to tell my boss about a new idea. A new idea. So this is an example of a future tense expression. Yes, the verb tell remains the same, but we put it together with a future tense expression. I'm going to tell my boss about a new idea. At native speed, this would sound like, I'm going to tell my boss about a new idea. So that's how quickly we would say this. I'm going to tell my boss about a new idea. Some good examples are coming in. Tell me about yourself. Good. That's a nice job interview question. Thanks, person. Morocco and Korea. Tell me about your hobbies. Great. Nice example. Tell me. Oh, I missed one. Sorry. Tell me about your strengths and weaknesses. Great. Blackout Kim. That was from last week's lesson about job interviews. Nice. Abdullah on Facebook says, I have told him, don't do it. Don't do it. So when you want to describe direct speech, so the thing someone said exactly, use quotes. So this is like an open quote. Do you know? Maybe. These marks. It's really small. It's really small to see. Sorry. Thank you. It's really small to see. These marks, these are called quotation marks. Quotation marks. We use quotation marks in writing, so now is a great chance to practice using these. We use these to mark exactly what someone said. So we put it around the words someone said. So you can practice using those in the chat today. All right, someone on YouTube whose name is in Russian, maybe I can't read. Tell me the truth. Perfect. Tell me the truth is another common expression with tell. So to tell the truth is one expression, and to tell a lie. We use the verb tell in these expressions. So to tell the truth means to share or to say what actually happened, to be honest. To tell a lie means to make up a story, to say something that is not true. Okay. Other examples. Nelson says, I told him not to open the door. Great. Victoria says, tell me about a time when you felt overwhelmed. Nice one. Sassy says, I'm going to tell my mom about my success. Perfect. Nice, nice, nice. Garrison has a scandalous one. I'm going to tell my friend all the truths. Maybe everything true about his girlfriend. Oh, that sounds interesting. Saying halatinge, sorry, maybe. I'm going to tell my teacher my country. Nice one, nice one. Okay, nice examples. Let's continue to the next verb then. Let's talk about talk. Let's talk about the verb talk. So, talk is connected to speak. I've connected these here on the board because there are some rules we can use for talk and speak that are the same. That is this. We can use to or with when we use these verbs. So talk to someone, talk with someone, or speak to someone, speak with someone. They are both fine. They are both fine to use. You can choose whichever you prefer. For me, with feels a little bit more like you're doing something together. You're doing something together. But really, there's not much of a difference. That's one point. So we can use to or with talk and speak. And you can use both of these verbs with about. So about introduces your topic. Let's talk about something. Or I want to speak about something. So about introduces a topic with these two verbs. So let's begin with talk. Some examples that use talk. I talked to my parents about my visit. This is a past tense example. So talk in past tense becomes talked. In this case, I'm using the preposition to here to introduce the person or the people in the conversation with me. So I talked to my parents is great. You can say I talked with my parents as well. I feel like in everyday conversation, we use to more commonly. It's a little bit shorter and easier to say. So in native speed, this sentence sounds like, I talked to my parents about my visit. I talked to my parents about my visit. Okay, let's go to the next example. One more example. Let's use a present tense one. My friends talk. My friends talk about. So here's a topic. My friends talk about new restaurants. My friends talk about new restaurants every week. Every week. So in this sentence, I'm using a present tense verb, talk. I'm using this present tense verb because, again, this is a regular discussion. I know that there's a hint in the sentence, every week. My friends talk about, my topic, new restaurants every week. So we use this present tense form when we want to describe something that's regular. It's a common occurrence. Okay, so let's compare this then to speak up here. So yes, we can use these two verbs for the same thing. Like I could use the verb speak in these sentences. I spoke to my parents about my visit, or my friends speak about new restaurants every week. Fine. The difference here in this case is that speak sounds a little bit more formal than talk generally. When we're just, hanging out with our friends, spending time with friends, we use talk. When we're like at work or maybe in a more formal situation, we use speak. Also, we use speak for language abilities. So for example, I speak English, I speak Japanese, I don't speak Chinese. We use speak for our language abilities. We cannot use talk in this way. We do not say, I talk Japanese or I don't talk Chinese. Cannot use that. We have to use speak when talking about our language abilities. All right, some good examples of talk are coming in, by the way. I talked about politics with my friends, says Christopher. Nice one. Okay. On Facebook, Imed says, I talked to my boss about maybe a 3-week holiday. Interesting point. When you use for, as in your example, I talked to my parents for, that introduces the length of time of your conversation. So for example, I talked to my boss about my vacation for 3 hours. For example, this uses all the prepositions, all the words we're talking about. So I talked to, okay, great. I talked to my boss about my vacation, okay, our topic. This for 3 hours means the length of your conversation. That means your conversation was 3 hours long. So you can include all of this if you want to, but using for introduces the length of time of your conversation. Okay, other points. Monday Blue, whatever members, hello there. Can I talk about the topic can I talk about the topic with my boss and I'll get back to you later, maybe? Or can I talk the topic over with my boss? Maybe that's the expression using over there. Yeah, nice one. Okay, other ones. She talks about her cat, says Miguel. That's a good one. Okay, time's going quick, so let's go to speak. Let's look at some examples with speak. Speak, first the past tense. The past tense of speak is spoke. So spoke, I have it in my example sentence here, my first example sentence. Speak becomes spoke in past tense. The past participle form is spoken. So have you spoken to her yet? Have you spoken to him yet? So I spoke to my manager. Again, we can use talk here. It's fine. I talked to my manager, or I talked with my manager. Perfect also. I spoke with my manager also is great. Another example, my friend. Ooh, squeaky. My friend often, what was my example? My friend often speaks. So another present tense example. My friend often speaks with me about business ideas. So again, I'm introducing a topic and a person here with speaks with me about. So you can include both points in your sentence. Also, as I said, we use this to express our language abilities. So I speak, whatever, I speak Japanese. So we can use this verb to express our language abilities. All right, so we're on to the last point for today. The last verb I want to talk about is ask. We use ask for questions. So anytime you need to report a question, you can use ask. So this means you can use it for requests, for offers, for inquiries. So you need some help with something. You can use ask to describe that. And for more advanced learners, you can use this when you're using like these indirect style questions, embedded questions too. Like she asked if I knew where the restroom was, and so on. More advanced point, but this is the verb we use to do that. So let's take a look at some examples. First, ask, the past tense form of ask is asked. Asked, it takes the regular ed ending, I asked. So I asked my friend for help. I asked my friend for help here. Simple past tense. I asked my friend. That's the person who received my question. You can think of it that way. I asked my friend for help. Or in like a future situation, our boss is going to ask about the project status. At the meeting. So here we are making a very confident guess. The guess is more confident because we know that because we're using going to. Our boss is going to ask about this at the next meeting, so we should be prepared. This is a situation in which you might use an expression like this. Our boss is going to ask about this. So we can use this past tense, as we talked about, past tense for past conversations, things that have finished. We use it in present for something true now or for something that is regularly said. And we use with future tense, like will and going to make guesses about the future. Okay, I want to check some of your examples. Mateus says, she asked me to walk the dogs this morning. Perfect, nice one, Mateus, on YouTube. Another example on YouTube. Edgard says, I asked my boss if I could get a vacation or if I could have a vacation or take a vacation. Take a vacation is the natural verb choice there. Valdeci maybe, he was asked to renew his membership at the end of the month. Good. Ricardo has a nice question. Ask for or ask about. When do we use? Good question. So to ask for something means you want to receive that thing. Like, can I ask for your autograph, like your signature? Or can I ask for some time off? That's the thing you want to receive. When you use ask about, it's like you want to get information on a topic. I want to ask you about like the project status. So that's like you're getting information kind of. You're introducing the topic for discussion there. So it's not like you're going to receive something, maybe information, but ask for is like for requests more, for offers. Ask about is like introducing a discussion topic, kind of. Okay. On Facebook, Javier says, talk. Is talk used when the other person is just listening? No, we use talk. Talk and speak are used for like two-way or group conversations. Tell is used for like one-way conversations, yeah. Luis on Facebook says, I will ask the secretary about the breakfast. Good. Beto says, maybe I ask about the class. Okay, nice one. Other examples. Paulina says, I asked my girlfriend if we can hang out tonight. Very nice, very nice. Okay, great. Sounds good. Very nice examples, everybody. So this is a quick introduction to a few verbs that are very commonly confused, as well as choosing the correct tense with these verbs. So I hope that it was helpful for you. Of course, you can watch this video again on YouTube or Facebook if you missed any points. And if you have any questions, send them in the chat. I will check and I will try to make some changes or make some new stuff for the future. So I have to finish there. We have to be done for today. So thank you very much for joining us for this week's live lesson. And thank you for sharing all of your awesome example sentences and great questions today too. Next week, we'll be back with a new topic. Next week, I've gotten lots of requests from you about phrasal verbs, so I decided to make a lesson with 20 high-frequency phrasal verbs. High frequency means 20 phrasal verbs that are very, very often used in everyday life. So I have a list. I'm going to put 20 of them in next week's lesson. So for those of you asking phrasal verbs, so please join us for next week's live lesson for sure. That will be Wednesday, October 3rd, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it. You can set a notification on Facebook or on YouTube if you want to watch the stream. Instagram, you'll just have to know, or you can go over to Facebook or YouTube. So please join us again next week. Also, please don't forget to check out the new PDFs that we have. I showed you a couple of these earlier, the emergency words and the business vocabulary. This one is about like your leisure time activities, which you definitely use, especially this verb, ask, when you make invitations. So check this one out as well for talking about your hobbies. And of course, we have so many other topics too. You can download all of this for free from the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook. So we have to finish there. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you so much for liking and sharing the video. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your week, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.